welcome back to the RoxBox. This is episode 3 of an ongoing podcast thing where I talk about video games and video game related stuff. It's been a while since the last part, so I kind of wanted to start off by asking, how are you all doing? I'd assume hopefully you all are doing alright. I myself, I've been up to stuff, and I'll just leave it at that. Uh, no guest this episode. Just gonna go ahead and hop right into the topics. Since they're new, they just came out last week. I've been playing some games. The games in question are Sonic Superstars, Mario Wonder, and Spider-Man 2. And I just want to talk about them for this episode. So, to start things off, let's get Sonic Superstars out of the way since that came out first. It's it's all right. I don't think it's the best Sonic game, not even remotely, but for what it is, it's okay. It's incredibly flawed, but it's just okay. Um, I will admit though, the game does tank near the end. I haven't tried out the new story mode that you unlock after you beat the game, but I'll try that out later and give my thoughts on it then. But overall, the game is just, it's all right. Um, Up next, we have Mario Wonder and Spider-Man 2. I'll talk about Spider-Man 2 last because I probably have the most to say about that one. Uh, Mario Wonder, as of right now, is hands down my new favorite 2D Mario game. It's right up there with Mario World for me. Um, every level is something new and unique, and it, it's it's just a fantastic ride all the way through. I'd imagine it's even better if you have people to play with. I joined up with my friends a couple of times online to complete some missions, and yeah, it's way better if you play with other people, but even just as a solo experience, it's still an amazing time. I'm trying not to say wonder because wonderful, but yeah. And then Spider-Man 2. It's it's rare for a game to make me cry, but this game has done so on several different occasions. I'm not going to spoil what those occasions are. I want you to play it for yourself. It's a fantastic game through and through. Um, yeah, just this version of New York genuinely made me just want to live in New York, or at the very least visit. I've never been to New York before, but I'm gonna have to fix that sometime in the future. This is probably my game of the year, to be honest. Um, the new mechanics that they added, such as the ability to just glide, is exhilarating. Especially because throughout the city you can find wind tunnels and stuff that will just get you from point A to point B even faster than you were already going. And it's really good. The symbiote abilities are just overpowered and fun to use. There's one particular moment in the game that I'm not going to spoil, but you play as a character that is, okay, if I say any more it'll be a spoiler, so I'm just going to stop myself right there. um But just know when you get to that moment in the game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a massive power trip for that moment of the game. It's really good. This game has a lot of representation of all types, di- especially disability. It has a lot of um, representation in terms of you know individuals who are disabled in some way, shape, or form. A lot of accessibility features, which, to be fair, has been there since the first game. So it's nice to see them come back with it and better than ever. Um, there's a lot of LGBTQ representation in this, which is really cool. Uh, Overall, like I said, it's a fantastic experience. I wish there was a way I could. I'm having a hard time putting it into words, but to be fair, that's just because the I suck at talking. I'll be honest with you. Um, but yeah, it's a fantastic game. Go play it if you have a PS5. If you don't have a PS5, buy one and play it. It's a fantastic game. I can't recommend it more. Um, Going back to Mario Wonder, though, I noticed that the game does have. It says on the eShop that the game is going to have in-app purchases, and I'm curious as to if that means we're getting DLC down the line, and if so, I'm hoping that the DLC is new characters, not just new levels or stands or something like that. I'm hoping for new levels as well, don't get me wrong, but I really hope that it's new characters as well. Um, it would be cool if they brought Rosalina back from 3D World, make her a playable character again. Uh, I wouldn't mind seeing Pauline as a playable character in this actually. I A part of me doubts that will happen because it seems as of right now, in terms of her playable appearances, they want it to remain in the side games, which is fine. It's fine, but I wouldn't mind seeing her playable in a mainline game as well. And just some other characters I would be interested in seeing them put in as DLC. Uh, Wario. He hasn't been in a platformer since I want to say Wario Land Shake It. I could be wrong in that. I could be absolutely wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on that. Waluigi. I wouldn't mind seeing him as a playable DLC character. I doubt it. I he's a huge doubt. I doubt that we'll get him. I feel like we'll get Pauline before we ever get Waluigi in a platformer. And I'm kind of okay with that, to be honest. I'm fine with him just being relegated to side games, to spin off titles. Uh, but yeah, no, my biggest hopes for DLC are just new characters, specifically in the form of Rosalina or even Pauline, to be honest. Um, with the wonders, because I didn't really go into detail with those. Um, as you're gonna come to learn as I do these solo more often, I'm not that great in when it comes to going into detail with things, but I'll do my best. The wonders, outside of them just being, for a lack of a better word, wonderful, They're just wonderful experiences. They really do change up how the game plays. One of my favorite wonders in the game that I think only happens twice. I could be wrong. I'll be honest with you, I didn't 100% the game yet. But from what I remember, it only happens twice. It basically the wonder in question. It makes it where the game is a it puts the game in a top down perspective, but you're running on the wall. And I think that's just really cool because it essentially low key turns the game into it temporarily turns it into a 3D game almost. It's hard to explain. It's I mean, I guess 3D in the same way that like a top-down Zelda game would be considered 3D, which not really, but hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say here. Um, Another one of my favorite wonders are the ones where it just makes it turns the stage into a musical. It's an auto scroller musical. Um, that happens a couple of times. I want to say it happens 3 times. Uh, it might happen more than that, to be honest with you. Um, like I said, it's I haven't done every level in the game. Uh, I believe I did all of the main levels at least. I haven't done all of the secret levels. I'll be going back on my own time to clear out those levels. Um, but yeah, I love the wonder mechanic. I love it a lot. I'm also happy that they brought back the special world. Um, and it's so I haven't played all of the new soup games, so I'm not entirely sure how the special worlds work in those games. I've only played the original and Wii, so like I said, I'm not entirely sure how the special worlds work in the new soup series. But from what I've experienced, the new soup, I'm sorry, my bad. I misspoke there. The special stages in this game work similarly to how it is in Mario World, where each area, each new world contains its own unique entrance to the special world. And if you want to get everything, you have to find all of those entrances, and they're all pretty well hidden as well. Um, I'm also I absolutely adore all of the musical references that this game has as well. Um, a lot of callbacks to older Mario titles, both 2D and 3D. Similar to like how Mario Odyssey was just a huge love letter to the 3D Mario games, especially 64. Mario Wonder feels like a huge love letter to just a franchise as a whole because it has a lot of callbacks to every aspect of Mario, um, 2D and 3D. And one of my new favorite power ups in this game is probably the power up that was advertised the most, which is the elephant power up. Just because I don't know the extra strength and whatnot. I don't know. I'll be honest. The elephant power up, even though it's probably my new favorite power up, I think the more I'm thinking about it, I feel that I enjoy it more for its design alone as opposed to what it can actually do. So I guess with that in mind, I'd have to say that in terms of utility, my actual new favorite power up is probably the bubble power up. Just because it takes out just about any enemy. And on top of that, you can use the bubbles as platforms, which is really cool. Uh, the badges. I love how the badges work because depending on what badge you have equipped, it can either be it can either help you, uh, such as like the one that gives you the flutter jump, or the one that turns your hat into a parachute. And then there are the power ups that kind of hinder you. I'm sorry, my bad. I meant badges. There are the badges that hinder you, which, like the invisible badge, as an example. So, the way the invisible badge works is unlike in Super Mario 64, where it turns you invisible, but you can still kind of see yourself. In the case of the invisible badge in this game, it turns you completely invisible. Like, if you're not standing next to something where your shadow will have a backdrop, you just will not be able to see yourself at all. My new favorite badge, my favorite badge though, is probably the Jet Run badge, which is it's a badge that makes that essentially turns the game into an auto runner. And the way it works is the moment you hit left or right, you just immediately start running at full speed. Like your character will start running at full speed on their own. And when you run off an edge, your character can temporarily run in midair, which in turn will give you more distance when you try to like jump. And I'll be honest, I'm gonna attempt to do a run of Mario Wonder where I only use the jet badge just to see if I can make it through. Because it's depending on what level it is, yeah, the badge can be a hindrance, but I don't know. I still enjoy this badge a lot. Um, Overall, fantastic game. Uh, if you have a Switch, go pick it up. You will not be disappointed. Chances are, if you're listening to this, you probably already have Mario Wonder, but if you don't, go pick it up. You're in for a good time, especially if you play online with other people, or if you play local co-op. I haven't tried it local co-op yet, so I don't know. But just playing online with other people, it's a really good time. You won't be disappointed. Um, so I know this was a shorter episode. I'm kind of just out of things to talk about, and I'm sort of rambling at the moment. But yeah, you can find me here on YouTube at youtube.com/roxsgamepad. Uh, I'm going to probably start streaming again over on twitch.tv/rocks underscore the underscore cat. And you can also find me on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, as well as Blue Sky. I'll have links to all of those things down in the description below. I will try to make this more of a weekly thing. Hopefully, it can be a weekly thing. So with that in mind, like, comment, subscribe, or not. It's up to you. I don't. I can't tell you how to live your life. But until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I don't know. Have a good one.